Hello, you beautiful souls. This is Zia, the Mystic Visionary, and I'm with you to pick my word for the week. We're going to go into my little magic box here, and I'm going to feel around and pick a word for the week. And if you don't know what that's about, then you need to go back to episode 1 or go to the link in the show notes. It'll take you to a link to my website. All right, I found a word in the box, and the word is acceptance. Wow, that's a really good word, acceptance. Okay, I'm going to go meditate on that, and I'll be back to talk about what acceptance means in the new paradigm. Okay, I'm back from meditation. Oh, that was interesting. Well, let me begin by saying that really self-acceptance is the only acceptance we need to focus on in the new paradigm. It seems like a selfish thing to just focus on accepting yourself, but it's the key. You know, I think in the current paradigm, we're focused on accepting other people, and it's that externally driven idea again. I am 100% behind accepting people for who they are, accepting people for their beliefs, and ending this divide that we have going on in our country. I mean, that's huge. But I realized during meditation that in order for us to accept others, we have to accept ourselves. And I think that that's where the work really begins, because you can't really do anything about other people. The only person you can do something about is yourself. I mean, I can love other people, and I really, really try to accept everyone for where they're at. And that's something I work on all the time, trying not to be judgmental, trying not to condemn or condone or any of those things, just accept people where they're at. But that is this external focus. And I think that in order to really be successful at that, it has to start from the internal, the self-acceptance. And I know that that's something I've struggled with my entire life. And as I reflect on that, when I was reflecting on it in meditation, the idea of like self-help kept coming up to me, you know, this self-help movement, self-help books, even the life coach situation. I became a certified life coach in the early 2000s, and I started working with people and had a practice of, coaching. And it was always about something that people wanted to change about themselves and sort of like force themselves into their dream. And not that there's anything wrong with doing that or focusing on what's out of order so that you can get in order. But there was a lot of condemnation and like there's something wrong with me that I need to fix so that I can have this thing that I want. And it's like this, I'm broken, and if I fix this broken part of me, then my life will run smoothly, or I'll have all the things that I want in my life. And somehow that is not how it works. You know, I've worked with a lot of people, and trying to override that feeling of lack that they had, or that there was something wrong with them, or that there was a flaw that they need to correct in order to be happy or be successful, or any of the things that they were seeking. It's not, that is not the answer. Self-acceptance, radical self-acceptance, is the beginning for all of us. When I think about what was shown to me in the new paradigm, the principle I am that I am comes to mind in this during my meditation about self-acceptance or about acceptance. It's like if we are a piece of the divine having a human experience, if we are like that analogy of we're a wave in the ocean, so we're part of the ocean, but we have our unique experience as a wave. We are that. We are part of the bigger. And as part of the bigger, that is pretty much perfection. You are not separate from that. You are a piece of that. And if you are a piece of that, then what is wrong with you? Nothing. What happens is that we separate ourselves from that and think that because we're separate, then we need to find our way back to that wholeness. And the way to find the way back to that wholeness is to fix yourself. When in reality, it's goes back to one of the other words we had about surrender, of surrendering to the divine within, like understanding that you are a perfect piece of whatever that God substance or spiritual substance or the oneness that's connecting us all. You are a part of that. You are a piece of that. You are whole and complete exactly as you are. Yes, you've had experiences in life that have created possibly wounds or distortion and separation, but the work that needs to be done is surrendering to that understanding that you are whole and complete exactly as you are. That is what self-acceptance is. That nothing about you needs to be changed to be acceptable. You are whole and complete exactly as you are. Now, that is a challenge on its own, because we are taught or we're trained or we're programmed or we're conditioned to compare ourselves to everyone else, to see our differences. You know, it starts, as we know, in school, like the kids that were the smart kids and the kids that were the challenge kids and the kids that were the goof-offs and the kids, you know, there's all these different categories that you fall into, and then you begin to identify with that. And if you're the smart kid, then you feel like you're superior. Or if you feel like you're the popular kid, then you feel like, you know, whatever that brings to you. But then the other side of that is if you're not the smart kid or you're not the popular kid, you think, what's wrong with me? And you start to think, what can I do to make myself smarter or more popular or more beautiful or whatever the case may be? So you begin to look at yourself as flawed because you don't fit into these classifications that are out there in the world, constantly reminding us that we're not good enough, that we don't have enough, that we need to be different. And, you know, that's what advertising does too. Advertising is all about, here's this thing you don't have, and if you have this thing, you will feel better, you will be better, you know, whatever the case may be. It's always some externally driven point that you don't have it and you need it. So it gives us the sense and this belief system that we're lacking. There's something wrong with us. We're not enough. And that is the challenge right there. That is the challenge. And for myself, and I know for a lot of people, the struggle with weight and body acceptance is huge. I spent most of my my young life, I started dieting when I was 8. And I, you know, struggled and battled with my weight my entire life. And I felt less than because I didn't have this body or this, you know, or a dress size that I felt was appropriate. And unless I could be that, then I wasn't acceptable. So the challenge is accepting yourself as you are and knowing that you're whole and complete and perfect exactly as you are. And people can tell you that. People can say that. Like, I hear that. A lot of the spiritual teachers that I listen to talk about this, and they talk about, you're whole, complete, and perfect just as you are. You're unique. You are a unique emanation of the divine. No one else can represent the divine like you represent the divine. And that is perfection. You are perfection. And that is acceptance. There's nothing broken. There's nothing that needs to be fixed. There's nothing that needs to be adjusted. Self-acceptance has to begin at that point. And at that point, everything can change. Think about the last time you completely, 100% accepted yourself exactly as you are, without that, well, but if feeling or idea, or, if I lost 10 pounds, or if I had this, better job, or if I had more money, I could do blank, or if I, you name it, or this childhood issue that keeps coming back to haunt me. I'm a victim of this, or I'm a survivor of that. All those things delete or take away from your idea of perfection and acceptance. What if all those things were necessary for you to be who you are right now, and they were the gifts that you were given to be the perfection that you are at this moment? Like, how would it change your life if you didn't have to think, I need to change this thing about me. I need to change this situation, or I need to change this thing that you've been trying to change but doesn't change. Like me with my weight. It's like, what if this body is perfection? What if this feeling that I have of not being good enough went away, and I felt completely whole and accepted myself 100% in this moment, which is what is required from all of us. We're so busy focused on the external world that it's difficult sometimes to understand that most every aspect of our life, or every aspect of our happiness, or this feeling of completeness or wholeness, comes from inside. Nothing outside of ourselves is going to make us feel whole and complete inside. That is an inside job. That's for us to do. And the only thing that stops us from that are the things we think about ourselves, the thoughts in our head, the repeated patterns, the belief systems that we keep holding on to, feeling like that's the reality of our life, when it is not in any way. It's like we have to sever that, we have to change the way that we look at that, and understand that whatever I think today can change my tomorrow. It was funny, the other day I was getting in the shower, and we're in a new house right now, we're remodeling, and when you open the shower door, there's a big mirror there, and I forgot that it was there, and I came out of the shower, and there's the mirror, and I see myself, and it's like I was frozen like a deer in the headlights, because I was catching myself with these thoughts of negative thoughts, which I didn't want to think. And it's like, stop, frozen in the headlight, deer in the headlights. And I was like, this is a beautiful body. Look at this beautiful body. And I put my shoulders back, and I was like, I love this body. Look what this body does for me. I'm walking on the earth, experiencing this amazing life with this body. Thank you, body. And I caught myself where before I would have turned my head away. I would have went, oh my gosh, negative thought, negative thought, negative thought. And I realized, who is in control of that? Who has the power? I have the power. I have the control of my brain and the things I want to think. I could berate myself and make myself feel bad, and then I would get out of the shower and feel terrible, and I would go on the rest of my day, repeating these ideas in my head about how I need to change, or I need to exercise more, or this and that and the other thing. When just me being aware and thanking my body, being grateful, being appreciative, and putting my shoulders back and feeling proud and happy to be alive and having this physical experience in this vessel, no matter what it looks like, it is a gift. And I suddenly had a completely different viewpoint, and it was self-acceptance that changed that. And the self-acceptance was my choice. I stopped in that moment, like, woo, and there it was, and I have a choice here. And I have a choice where I can either accept myself exactly as I am, or I can berate myself for what I think I should be. And that is going to determine how I'm going to feel about myself moving forward. How do I want to feel about myself? So I think that is the key. It's like in those moments, we have to learn self-acceptance. And it has to begin within. It has to begin with each of us. We are jumping to this external, like, of course I want to accept everybody else, and I want people to be able to be who they are and live the life they choose to live and be accepted and not be condemned or judged. Absolutely. But I have to start with doing that to myself. That is the place where it begins for all of us. You have to be the change you want to see. And the change that I want to see is I need to learn to accept myself exactly for who I am and what I am right now, and have that be enough. Accepting and loving myself as I am is huge. It's a big deal. And for all of us to do that. Accept where you are right now in your perfection. And I think that I know that for a fact, that through that practice of self-acceptance, you will begin to have more gratitude, which is what I did when I opened the shower. I realized, here I am, I'm alive, I'm on this planet, I'm in this body, I'm having this physical experience on the planet with all my senses, enjoying the life that I have. I am grateful for this body. I'm grateful for what it has provided for me. I am happy. I am, I love this part of me. So I can own that and be grateful and accept that. Well, that feeling kind of builds on itself. Not kind of, it does build on itself. I listened to Esther Hicks, who channels Abraham. She talks about the 17-second rule, or whatever she calls it, where if you think a thought for 17 seconds, then it finds another thought that's like it for another 17 seconds. Then pretty soon you're building those thoughts. And then pretty soon you give, a couple of minutes time to a negative thought. It's just going to grow and grow. Where it's also true to do the opposite of that. It's like you take a uplifting thought and you think another uplifting thought, and pretty soon you're uplifted. The choice is ours to make. That is the key. The choice is ours to make. And if you really want to be accepting of people in the world, then you have to begin with yourself. Tell me about why you love yourself. Tell me about why you're perfectly okay exactly as you are. Find the things in your life to be grateful for. Find the things about yourself that you love. Find the things that make you feel whole and complete. we can choose those thoughts. We can choose those beliefs. It's completely up to us. And I can tell you right now, the more you do that, the more acceptance you have for everybody and everything in every situation. It has to begin inside. Self-acceptance has to be first. Yeah, self-acceptance. The word acceptance is a great word, but I really want you to focus. Just think about it. Think about it today. Think about the ways that you don't accept yourself, the ways that you criticize yourself, condemn yourself, want to be different, or you need this to be changed. Think about how much of your energy and your time you spend on not accepting yourself, and turn that around. Turn it around today. Focus on you and think about, what can I do today to be more loving and accepting of myself? Okay, I think that's enough. Thank you for whoever picked this word, acceptance. It's a big one, a really big word. All right, well, thanks for listening and have a great week. And I'll be back next week with a new word. If you want to learn more about the 5 guiding principles of the new paradigm, you can listen to my audiobook, which is the Pocket Guide to the New Paradigm, which is a free audiobook on YouTube. I'll link it below. And the other thing that I have available is the Heart Archetype quiz. It's a short quiz that answers the question, am I listening to the call of my heart? And you take the quiz and you'll discover what might be blocking you from living the call of your heart. And I think that's what we're all being called to do right now, is to look inside, connect with our heart, and follow its guidance. If you want to take that quiz, there's a link right below. If you have any questions or comments, feel free. You can also leave those below.